Hi Stampin' friends, I'm Charlene from stampinwithcharlene.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make some of the samples that are on page 36 and 37 of the 2019-2020 Stampin' Up! Catalog from the Magnolia Lane suite. This is my absolute favorite product suite in the entire catalog, and maybe even in my 17 years as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I love the patterns in the designer series paper. I love the color combinations. I love everything about it. So you will need to make these samples. You'll see that I made some of these exactly as they are, and some are similar. I tweaked them a little bit, but you'll also need your Big Shot, and we're going to use the Stamparatus with one or more of these cards. I'm going to show you how you can easily make your different sentiments, how you can get them straight on your cardstock and not mess up an entire piece of cardstock. I also want to show you a little tip. I don't know if you're aware or not, that on your designer series paper, on the piece of cardstock that comes in the back, it lists all of the coordinating colors. So you'll know when you order your products, you will know what coordinated colors you're going to need to finish the product so that everything matches. That's what's so great about Stampin' Up! Is that all of the products coordinate with each other in the suite, in the color suite, in the stamp suites. It's wonderful, and it makes everything so much easier. You're also going to need Memento ink because we're going to use Stampin Blends to color in the magnolias. So let's get started. So get out your annual catalog, turn to page 36 and 37, and the card that we are going to case today, copy and steal everything, is this one down here. This is going to be the finished product. Now, some disclaimers. First, I am not sophisticated enough to figure out how to do a 2-camera shot on my videos. So you're not going to see my face while we're making the card, which is fine because it's not about me, it's about the card, right? And the other thing is that when I was, my craft room is a mess. So there are some things on this card that I'm going to substitute because I could not find the actual product that I used because I made a big pile after I made the card, and now I can't find it, but it's going to be really close. So let's get started. Let me put this away. Here is what we're going to make. And I am going to take a second to just turn to the back of the catalog so I get the name of the punch and the ribbon correct. Okay, so you're gonna need, nope, we don't need that on this one. See, I'm losing my mind. You need your Stamparatus and your Big Shot. And the name of the ribbon is Black Satin, I think. I will tag everything and link the specific names. But in the meantime, let's just get started so we can make this beautiful card. So you will need, now things are falling on the floor. Okay, you're gonna need Whisper White cardstock as your base. And this beautiful piece of paper from the Magnolia Lane designer series paper. This is what's on the back. And this is the front. So you are going to take your, pretend that this is black satin ribbon. I can't find mine because I was in such a rush. And then I just like to go over maybe about 1 inch on each side. I'm gonna trim that. And then I just use some good old regular, I also can't figure out how to do this and not have the camera shaking the whole time. So forgive me. And then I just tape the tails down with some Scotch tape like that. Okay, and then you're going to take your snail. Make sure you get the corners really well. Snail this puppy up and adhere it to the front of the card. Okay, so your base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it's, no, 4¼ by 11, and it's scored at 5½. And then this piece is 4 by 5¼ and then I just messy cut, rough guided how much this would fit. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is get some vellum and use your circle dies and cut about a 3-inch size circle from your vellum cardstock. And then because you're going to cover it up, it doesn't really matter where. See, you're going to be covering it, so it doesn't matter where you'll put the snail because it will be hidden by the little things that you're going to put on top of it. So let's adhere the vellum circle. And we can also, I can't find my green ribbon that comes in, it's the Magnolia Lane ribbon pack right here. So see the little green, see that there? That's what this is. But in my mess of putting things away, I don't know what I did with it. So I am just going to use some linen thread and just measure, fussy cut measure, so it has a nice head and tail. And then I'm also going to just stick that down with some Scotch tape. So these are the easy parts that we can get out of the way, and then we'll move on to the more complicated parts. Now let's go to how I colored in the magnolias and the leaves. You're going to use from the Magnolia Memories dies. You're going to use this for the magnolia, and you're going to use this one for the leaf. So you'll need those 2 pieces out of that. Okay, those 2 pieces. And then, and I already, to save time, went ahead and cut them. You're going to need this leaf stamp, and you're going to need this magnolia stamp, and you will also need this sentiment, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay. So, oh, and you want to make sure that you stamp it with your, I again, could not find my memento ink, but you're going to want to use a permanent ink. So I just used my retired archival Stampin' Up Basic Black. And that's what I stamped this with, and then I die cut it out with my Big Shot. Okay? So then I'm going to take, to color it in, I'm going to take, let's see, can I zoom in? Ooh, I learned how to zoom in. Ooh, see? Maybe one day I'll know how to do a 2-camera shot. This is the light petal pink Stampin' Blends. And I'm taking the paintbrush side. And I'm just gonna lightly marker in. This is, it looks so gorgeous when it's done. Marker in those with the light petal pink. And then I'm using the bronze Stampin' Blends for the stem. And for the leaves, I am using the light Mossy Meadow to color in the leaves. This is so fun and so relaxing. Whenever I make a card, I don't just make one, I make 24 of each card. So it's so fun to get everything ready and then to just get my Stampin' Blends and sit by the TV. While Neely Bear's watching TV with me, he watches and I sit there and color. So look at how easy that was to make that gorgeous magnolia. And then you're gonna do the same thing and you're gonna make 2 leaves. And of course, hold on one second because one fell on the floor. So let me grab another one if I can find one. Hold on, I'll be right back. Here it is, found it. Okay. Now what I did to make it look, see how it's lighter in the middle and darker on the edges. I'm taking my bronze again and I'm just gonna color around the outside. on both of those. This is so relaxing. I just want to do more and more and more. And then I'm going to take my light petal pink again and then color in the center, but I'm going to make sure that I go over the dark color, and that's how it's going to blend together. So it looks lighter in the middle and darker on the ends. Okay, so those are our flowers. So I'm going to put those aside, set them aside, and now let's work on the you know, the saying that goes on the front, and we're going to use the Stamparatus for that. So I'm going to set these aside and get my Stamparatus. I'm going to take out the sentiment. The journey of life is best shared with a friend. We'll get through this together. This is a perfect sentiment for me right now because my dad just passed away and my really good friend's dad just passed away. So I am going to give this card to her because it's perfect. It's something that we have to endure together. Okay, where did I put the paper? You see? Okay. So this is how I do it. I take the paper, and this is cut at, you know what? I'll put the measurements down there because, of course, as luck would have it, I have it on, oh wait, here, we'll do it this way. This is 3 1/4 by 1 1/2, but I'll put the measurements down below and on my website. So I just put it up at the very top corner. You don't need to use the magnets for this or anything. Set the stamp down so that it's straight and in the middle, and then press down on the Stamparatus, and then it'll cling because this is a great cling set. I love Stampin' Up's new cling set stamps. So it clings very easy to this plastic, and then I'm taking my black ink and I'm going to juice up this baby. And until the Stamparatus came along, I shied away from sentiment stamps and ones that had little words and stuff because I would always make them crooked and it just drove me crazy. But the Stamparatus has saved the day. And then look at how that comes out, so perfectly straight and evenly inked. Okay, so then what I'm gonna do is, since it's still on there, I'm taking I love this, the little stamp cleaning pad, the little miniature cleaner. Yes, it's all stained, look how much I've used it. And I am just going to wipe that ink, whoops, right off of there. And then I still am gonna use my Stampin' Scrub because you don't wanna use this, you don't wanna leave that chemical on your stamp. So I'm going to mist up my Stampin' Scrub, easily peel the stamp off, wipe it and dry it on the Stampin' Scrub, and then put it back in its little case. Okay, so we're done with that. Now all the pieces are ready to put on. You just take your sentiment, put your snail it up, and put it about, this is like a rule of thirds, I guess. So it's 2/3 of the card. And then arrange your, of course I only colored in one magnolia, but you're just gonna arrange your magnolia, your 2 magnolias, pretend I have another one there, and your leaves, and attach them with your snail, and that's it. You copied the card. You did it. You made a card from the Magnolia Lane suite in the 2019-20 Stampin' Up! Catalog. You even cased a card. You made a card that's exactly like the one in the catalog. Wasn't it fun? I'd like to see you come back so we can make more cards together. Be sure to follow this channel by subscribing, and you can also visit my blog at stampinwithcharlene.com so we can create fun and happy cards and projects together.